what's going on guys, it's Dan here from Table Tennis Daily. Today, me and Tom are in the Table Tennis Daily studio reviewing the new, hotly anticipated Andro Razanta R and V rubber series. A lot of online advertisements via Andro have marketed this rubber as really hitting the nail on the head in terms of producing a rubber that combats the plastic ball. After an apparent long study by Andro using what they call a virtual ball scanner, they found the modern plastic ball produces less spin and speed in comparison to the celluloid ball. I think we could all agree with this. They found the plastic 40 Plus ball has more wind resistance and less friction resistance. Andro's solution has been to come up with a new rubber innovation whereby the Razanta has a thicker sponge and thinner top sheet to get the maximum amount of spin, speed and dwell time that the plastic ball will permit. The sponge of the new Razanta series has a 2.3mm sponge in comparison to the previous Power Grip and Turbo, which has a 2.1mm sponge. Andro have managed to increase the sponge size by thinning the top sheet. This allows the plastic ball to absorb through the top sheet into the sponge quicker. The Razanta series comes in two types, the R and V version. The R standing for rotation and the V meaning velocity. You have a lot to choose from the Razanta series, with the R coming in 4 sponge hardnesses, 37, 42, 47 and 50 degree sponge hardnesses. The V series comes in 2 sponge hardnesses, 42 and 47 degrees. The R and V series differ due to the pimple structure, with the V having shorter and thinner pimples. The Razanta comes with Andro's unique green sponge with a newly developed, stickier top sheet. The weight of our Razanta R samples, when uncut, increased in weight as the sponge hardness went up. As you can see on the table, the 37 being the lightest at 60 grams and the 50 being the heaviest at 76 grams. This applied for the V series too, with the 42 being 60 grams and the 47 being 69 grams. The weight of the rubbers, when cut, can be seen in the table and also increase as the sponge hardness goes up. The Razanta rubbers were used on the Tri-Bouquet blade throughout the review. Most of the review focuses on the R47, as this seems to be the most balanced and popular of the Razanta series so far. With the Razanta R47, you notice the rapid speed from the word go. I liked how I got a lot of feeling from the rubber, while still being able to put a lot of speed on the ball with minimal effort. The thin top sheet and thick sponge approach definitely allows you to produce high levels of speed. Whilst the R47 is a medium to hard rubber, the fact that it has a thinner top sheet allows for the ball to soak into the thicker sponge. This in theory gives you greater dwell, giving you more time, grip and therefore more spin on the ball, which we found to be true with the R47. The top sheet on the R47 itself was not too mushy and soft, and as just mentioned, had a medium to hard feel. This allows you to take the ball early with a lot of pace. After trying the other R variations, the 47 felt the optimal rubber for me personally. Tom is using the R42 rubber here, and you can see it's not as fast as the R47. The R42 has greater dwell and feeling, but not as much speed.
Camera!
Tom always really likes ESM based rubbers on the backhand side. Using the R47, he liked the medium arc and flexibility that the top sheet gave him, which increases both spin and safety in his shots. Using a combination of backhand and forehand topspins, the R47 has a medium to hard feel and a stable and relatively direct trajectory. However, what we really like is the amount of spin produced by the R47, and the rubber is definitely a notch up in terms of spin production compared to the previous Razanta rubbers like the Power Grip and Turbo. When playing aggressive 3-point forehands, I could feel the grip on the top sheet, picking up low balls. I find this really important when playing fast attacking forehands, especially when out of position. this area of the review, we looked at how much spin we could produce with the Razanta R series against backspin. In general, we could generate a lot of rotation on the ball. You can feel the ball dig into the thick sponge, which helped our feeling. Tom felt he was producing a touch more spin using the R47 in comparison to the R50, but there was not much in it. Using the R47, I found good grip and spin. Sometimes I sent the ball long after my first spin up. This showed the immense speed these rubbers possess. When opening up the play with the softer versions of the R series, the 37 and 42, we definitely found it easier to open up due to the soft sponge. However, we found the 47 and 50 both followed up better as they were more direct and had greater speed in the open rallies. For players looking for more control in their game, they will get more from the 37 and 42 versions, as the spin production is easier and are both slower, giving greater control. We were both really impressed with how much speed and accuracy we had with the backhand flicks using the R47. The spin this rubber produces results in the ball dipping down quickly onto the table. I always find that when executing a backhand flick, you want to go for more placement and spin, and then follow up with a strong ball. This was easy to do with the R47. The rubbers all produced good spin when serving, with no real differences between them. Ball placement was easy, and we were both able to keep the ball low over the net whilst maintaining heavy spin. The rubbers all produced good spin when serving, with no real differences between them. Ball placement was easy, and we were both able to keep the ball low over the net whilst maintaining heavy spin. It was easier to block with the harder versions of the Razanta R. When blocking using the 37 or 42, you get less control as the harder sponges of the 47 and 50 propelled the ball more forward and faster and more direct.
One thing I noticed throughout this review when playing is the solidness I have when I'm blocking the ball. I can be nice and relaxed and the ball just springs off effortlessly with a lot of control. We just see here against Tom's forehand topspin. Be nice and relaxed and have a solid control. The ball just rebounds off effortlessly. Okay, so I have the Razanta R series lined up here, 50, 47, 42 and 37. So I'm just going to forehand topspin and see the differences that I get with each sponge hardness. Okay, so first up the Razanta R50. And the Razanta 47. That one already feels a little bit lighter, a little bit softer. The Razanta 42. The Razanta 37, the softest between the four sponges. So already you can hear the sound, it's a little bit louder with this rubber. A bit more clicky up. And again. Whew. I think personally between all four I prefer the 47. I think that's the optimum for me, for the sponge hardness, for the spin, speed and power. It just feels right, the sort of balance. From the word go, me and Tom both noticed the speed the Razanta series produces, especially with the 50 and the 47. Both rubbers really shoot off the bat and give you a lot of speed with the ball, especially with the plastic ball as well, which these rubbers have been designed for, the thicker sponge and the smaller top sheet, which Andrew speak about. For me, I found the 47, the perfect balance at the close to the table for speed and spin. I'm able to get a lot of stability in my strokes. I find sometimes with the 50, the ball could shoot off a little bit easier, especially when playing a counter topspin. Whereas the 47, I just find a bit more control. The softer two sponges, the 37 and 42, really good when you take a step off the table and go for spin. And against backspin as well, the soft sponges do work really well. And when you're taking the ball later, getting that dwell and spinning the ball. Depends what sort of style player you are, but for me, I would use the 47 because I like to play top of the bounce with the backhand punch and forehand topspin. But they're all excellent rubbers and they do cater for different styles.
So what we're interested in now is looking at if any of the sponge hardnesses are able to produce more or less spin and the variation between each different one. First up, the 50. Okay, now the 47. Okay, now the 42. And lastly, the 37. Okay, so what I noticed there is all of the different sponge hardnesses are able to generate a lot of spin. There's not a great deal of difference in the spin I'm getting on each open up between each sponge hardness. I think it's just a difference in the way it's leaving the bat. So with the 50, it leaves the bat a bit quicker, a bit more direct. And then as you travel down, so the 47 and 42, and then lastly the 37, it's just a bit more dwell, a bit more grip and slower leaving the bat. So I think for younger or more developing players, the two softer sponge hardnesses, so the 42 and 37, would be more suited. So they're a bit more forgiving, you get a bit more safety on your shots. Whereas for more advanced players or players looking for that extra power, probably the two harder sponges, so you're looking at the 47 and 50, they would be more suitable. Really nice direct hit, getting that spin still, but a bit more forward trajectory as well.
So do a quick comparison here between the Razanta 47 and the Evolution MXP. The Evolution MXP is regarded as the fastest ESM-based European rubber in the world. Some players have different opinions, but a lot of online users do think the Evolution MXP is the quickest. So we'll compare it now against the 47, which I found the 47 today to be really fast, so it's going to be interesting. So first we'll start off with the Evolution MXP. And the Razanta 47. When comparing the two rubbers, I'm not noticing too much difference in terms of speed. Both rubbers hit with a lot of power, as you saw here. One thing I am noticing though is the difference in feeling. With the Razanta, I think because of the thicker sponge, it's able to give me a little bit more dwell in the shot and a bit more safety. With the Evolution, it maybe feels a bit more firmer on the contact when I go for power in the shot. So the first thing myself and Tom noticed off camera earlier is definitely right away the Razanta series is faster than the previous Power Grip and Turbo. I think obviously one of the reasons because of this is that the newer thicker sponge is giving you a bit more sink and propel into the ball. And also the feeling is quite different. Similar to what we said about the MXP, the older Turbo and Power Grip have a more firmer contact, whereas the Razanta is a bit more of that spring effect, which we like. In this part of the review, we're going to compare the Razanta R series to the Razanta V series. So the R series stands for rotation and the V series stands for velocity. We'll look at differences between the R47 and V47. So R first, rotation. And the V47. Whew. So after testing the rubbers for a little while now, me and Tom, as you can see here, I feel there's a lot more control and safety actually with the R47. There's a bit more, almost a softer feeling, and you can feel you're getting more spin on the ball, more grip. The V47, it shifts off the back quicker, but I don't think I have as much control as the R version. But for players who are looking for power, I think would like the V version due to its speed. Personally, I'll go for the R version.
Conclusion. The Razanta R and V series rubbers have been targeted and developed to combat the plastic ball. The new concept of a thicker sponge and thinner top sheet combination developed by Andro has definitely resulted in an improvement in their rubber game from their previous generations of Razant. The new R and V series have higher arc and more dwell than their predecessors. The high levels of speed and spin produced really helps when playing fast attacking shots in open play, as well as when playing more delicate finesse shots like the modern backhand flick. Our favourite rubber within both series is definitely the R47, as it's the most suitable to our style of play. However, there are a lot of options to choose from within the range. The players who want a bit more control and safety in their shots with ease of use against backspin, the softer versions R37 and R42 would be a good choice. Players who play more of a dynamic speed and spin game would prefer the R47. The R50 is a hard rubber and would suit players who like to play flat direct shots at close range. The difference between the R and V series is the pimple structure, with both sponges being identical. The V series has thinner and shorter pimples and allows for a stronger rebound effect off the sponge, allowing for greater speed and a lower throw angle. If you are a player looking for maximum speed and a lower throw angle in your shots, the V42 and V47 would be a good choice and are both especially effective when playing fast attacking shots close to the table. In terms of how other Andro rubbers compare to the new Razanta series, the Power Grip and Turbo do not possess the same qualities of spin and speed. The new rubbers from Andro are a great addition to the rubber market, as they are definitely something slightly different. T-Bar and Donic are also following suit with this thin top sheet, thick sponge combination with the Select Prime and Blue Storm. Overall, the Razanta R and V series are a fantastic development and a great addition to Andro's rubber range, and we feel they really live up to the hype. Thanks for watching. Check out our online review centre in the link below, and be sure to subscribe and hit that like button for more table tennis content. Stay tuned for upcoming Table Tennis Daily reviews in 2017.